So let's talk donuts and how to get your hands on donuts during this quarantine. Tiffany Chin here, your LA Realtor, and welcome to our new video series, Small Business Spotlight Foodie Edition. So a lot of local restaurants, as you know, have been forced to get creative during these challenging times. So we at Tiffany Chin Real Estate want to do our part in helping to give back to the community that has been so good to us. So we're going to feature a different food establishment every Friday. And with that said, I'm so excited to introduce our first guest and a good friend of mine, the official donut princess, Maylee Tao of DKs Donuts. Hi, Maylee.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for having me, Tiffany.
Of course, it's so great to have you on our show today. Our brand new.
You know, I miss you. Like, I want to hug you, but I can't.
I know.
This is the best we'll get.
I know. For now, this will have to do.
Yes.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the donut industry.
Okay. Well, my name is Maylee Tao, and thank you for such the warm welcome. I own DKs Donuts and Bakery in Santa Monica, California, and also Donut Princess LA. How I got started in the donut business was pretty much, I was born into it. So, you know, my parents, they were actually Cambodian refugees when they came over here. And they came here in search of the American dream. They were unfortunately not as lucky to have such a good childhood as they were born into war. So, you know, when they heard of where they should go, they heard, you know, America is the place because you can make it. And so when they got here, my great uncle Ted, he's known as the Donut King, he actually was here before all the war happened, and he opened up hundreds of donut shops for Cambodian refugees that were coming over, and he really created this network. And at one point, there were 90% of all the donut shops in Southern California were Cambodian owned. And so I spent a lot of my time helping out at the bakery when I was younger. When I was 6 years old, I would have to stand in a milk crate to reach the top of the showcase. I remember, you know, my parents, they were unfortunately, you know, they're immigrants. English wasn't their first language. So I remember just giving my dad little ideas here and there and helping out on the weekends as all the other kids were watching cartoons. Here I was helping at the bakery and getting up super early. I went to UCSD for school. I studied communications and wanted to be a news reporter. And after, you know, I interned for a news station, I completely hated it. I hated that it was all about the ratings, and I really just wanted to cover the stories that I was interested in, pretty much human interest stories. And so when I, you know, came back to LA, I started to help out at the bakery, and this time, though, I had a different plan in mind. I wanted to completely rebrand the store. And, you know, all along, I knew that there was potential for this store. It was a local favorite. You know, people would come in, the surfers in the morning would get their coffee, the car dealership workers, the nurses, and just the working people of Santa Monica really, really understood DK's was there. And they knew that because pretty much, you know, we're open 24 hours. So at any time of the day, you can get a hot, fresh donut or coffee or sandwich. And that's pretty much how I kind of jumped right back into it. I started off with a logo, and then I started getting really creative in the kitchen, and I started to create these hybrid donuts and these new fancy, crazy specialty types of donuts. It all started with, you know, the ube donut. So growing up, I had a Filipino best friend, and one of my favorite desserts at her house was always the ube one. And I thought, why don't I make that into a donut? It's purple, it's got antioxidants, and it's not too sweet, which is totally my vibe. And then so after that, I came out with the half croissant, half donut, which is really, really flaky like a croissant, but it's also doughy like a donut. And this pretty much made the business explode. And then the other favorites include the walnut and, you know, different types of unicorn donuts and rainbow donuts and galaxy donuts, and pretty much just catering to the trends and what people really wanted to see and what people didn't even know that they wanted to try. And that's pretty much my little donut story regarding DKs. And 2 years ago, I started Donut Princess LA, which is a donut bouquet delivery service. Just understanding that, donuts now, although they're nostalgic and although they're, delightful and they remind you of your childhood, there are so many other creative ways that you can express a message. Donuts are now an experience. So at DK's, I had actually started the custom letter donuts where you could spell messages like I love you or I'm sorry or happy birthday. And then the Texas-sized donuts, like a Texas-sized donut tier. And then, the donut bouquet with Donut Princess LA, because I knew that, there are plenty of occasions to celebrate. So why not do it with a donut bouquet instead of a regular bouquet? So yeah, that's my involvement.
I love that. Well, it's very clear that DK's Donuts isn't a traditional donut shop. So, I know you mentioned a little bit about the menu, but can you tell us a little bit about what you're offering for pickup and delivery at this time, if that's changed?
Yeah, so pretty much not much has changed in terms of what we're offering. So we offer over 120 different kinds of traditional and specialty and hybrid donuts daily. We are still open 24 hours for pickup or delivery. We're offering curbside pickup now as well. People can call in and place a pickup order. We are completely all over the delivery platforms that exist. So that includes Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash. We also have like in-house delivery for custom like letters and custom things. And we also ship nationwide as well.
Wow. All right. So tell us, will you share with us what your all-time favorite item is on the menu?
It's so hard to just choose like one. That's like asking who your favorite child is or your favorite parent is.
Always
But
favorite child, just so you know.
I think that my favorite of all time. Can I just do like a top five? Is that better?
Sure. Top
Okay,
five.
okay.
Okay.
So top five. I'm really, really obsessed with the coconut campfire donut right now. It's a coconut infused white chocolate with black sesame seeds and white sesame seeds. It really, really reminds me of this dessert that my grandma would make me as a kid. And I love coconut, so that's probably why I love it so much. Then next is the glazed half croissant, half donut. As I was telling you before, the half croissant, half donut is really doughy and flaky. And like when you taste it, there's just like this extra, like, how you have like an aftertaste?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's pretty much like an amazing aftertaste. Like you have to like eat another bite and to really understand what it is. And then I love the Samoa Girl Scout cookie donut. It's got our homemade caramel with like secret ingredients in it. And then we toast the coconut in the store with the chocolate drizzle. Okay, that's 3 or 4, right? And then the ube donut kind of ties in with the Nutella churro donut. So that's another one of our hybrids. I love churros personally. I just like the cinnamon sugar and the texture. So we decided to make it into a baked donut. So all of those are amazing. And yeah, honestly, if it's not approved by me, then it wouldn't be in the showcase.
I love that. All right, so that's perfect. And I know you're doing some exciting things to help your local community, as I've seen on your Facebook and Instagram accounts. So for our viewers who have not, would you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. So, a lot of businesses right now are hurting. We're all impacted by this COVID-19 and the lockdown in LA. And so when it first happened, I knew I had to act really quickly. Within a week of it all happening, we had almost all of our accounts cancel. Right. So we do all the churches in the area. We do, the big office buildings like Hulu and Netflix and a ton of smaller offices as well. And all the car dealerships and, just there are so many organizations that we cater to that were like, hey, we're closed, or hey, we can't order from you.
Right.
So most of my ideas really come from what the user experience is going to be like. So I really put myself in the shoes of my potential customer. And so when I thought that, I was like, okay, well, I think that people are going to be working from home a lot now. And why, like they're in between Zoom calls, they're constantly like taking calls and meetings. And I was like, So in 3 days, I managed to curate a new menu. It's called DKs Secret Sandwich menu. You can actually order it on Uber Eats if you're within the delivery parameters, but just curating like the heavy hitter, delicious sandwiches that we can make for you at DKs, whether you have the munchies or whether you're just in between the meeting and you just want to have a delicious, healthy or unhealthy bite to eat. That's why I created that and launched that on Uber Eats within 3 days. I also turned DK's Donuts into a local grocery store. So we are now selling eggs and flour and butter and vegetables and bread, just to be sure that, this was really aimed towards the demographic of those people who didn't want to wait in line at the grocery stores, those people who didn't have access, the accessibility of it all, and that this would be open 24 hours of the day.
Right.
And then I also even offered to, deliver these to like the elderly if they needed it, because it's very risky for that demographic to be out right now. I mean, I know we've heard that there are also, like younger people cases, but we still like don't want to put those at super risk there. And then my most importantly, my favorite one, and the one that I feel so passionately about, is it's this initiative called Lunchboxes for Love. It was started with my friend Monica. Literally, we just kind of she hit me up out of nowhere, and we've been friends for years. And I just I was just sharing with her what was going on, and we came up with this idea. So we thought, okay, why not support small businesses, but at the same time, let's feed the hospital workers. Let's feed the people at the front lines. And I had a little test run. We had a church actually sponsor some donuts and coffee for the West LA Kaiser. And of course, I'm there and I feel really nervous, right? Because I am an essential worker because my business is still open. But at the same time, I'm putting people at risk. I'm putting myself at risk when I leave the house. So, I'm making sure I have the gloves, I have a mask on, and I went in there. And the doctor, Dr. Lee, he actually, he cared about my well-being a lot. He was like, okay. I was like, can I take a picture? He's like, yeah. He's like, get in here and then get out. Like, we don't want you to catch this. But when I was in the room, the break room, with these nurses and doctors that were coming in, I just felt like there, like some kind of like tingly, like sensation of just like, wow, like these people are so appreciative. Like their eyes like lit up. They were so happy just knowing that there's somebody like thinking about them. And I think that it also is a really great break from all the chaos that's happening. I say this a lot. It's a moment of happiness that donuts or sandwiches or coffee can provide. And so that's really been the driving force behind why I feel so passionately about Lunchboxes for Love. So to this date, we have delivered over 800 meals to local hospitals and hospitals that are even far away. So that means like UCLA Westwood, UCLA Santa Monica, USC, LAC, USC Keck, and Verdugo Hills. We even did a dementia home. I mean, like these people on the front lines, some of them aren't even going back to their families, or because they don't want to put the people that they're taking care of at risk. So, we've done a few with the nursing homes. We have so many. I felt so proud to be this person who could provide an opportunity for both individuals and businesses so that they could find a way to help. I found myself that before I started, I felt very helpless. I thought, I can't just sit around and not do anything. Like, what can I do within my power to do that? And so I can definitely say that personally, I've delivered 800 meals and it's been incredible. Sometimes I'll do like 3 hospitals in one day. Sometimes I'll do like one or two. but it's a way to give back to the community. I mean, I really, again, going back to, your first question, it's like, I put myself in what would it be like in their shoes. And to even something as small as like a donut or a coffee or sandwich, we're pricing the boxes at $10. So if people want to donate, they just Venmo Lunchboxes for Love, code 6001, or they go on the GoFundMe. Excuse me. And it's just an easy way. So I'm like, $10 can feed a hospital worker. And we just got so much support from individuals, including businesses. So we have one watch company, K Watches. They've donated 50 meals. Activision, they're donating 48 meals for the next 6 weeks. And just other people that want to get involved and they want to help. And even individuals just donating $10, or even just sharing the graphic. I think right now is definitely the time to pay it forward. And I'm doing that for the hospital workers, and people are doing that through me. So it's been going really well. And I cannot just stress it enough that I want to thank, everybody who supported me to make it happen. And along the way, I've learned so much even about hospitals and the hospital hierarchy and coordination. And at the same time, I am being safe, making sure I'm wearing a mask and gloves, washing my hands, and meeting these people outside of the hospital where it's safe for me to meet them.
Well, you bring up a great point. Right now, people really do want to help, and you're making it easy and accessible for them to do so. So thank you so much for doing that for all of us, really.
Yeah.
I know you touched on this already, but the most important question for those who are salivating now and have donuts on their mind, of course, what is the best way to place their donut order?
Well, again, going back with your point of like, I make it really easy for you with kind of the resources that I have. Okay, so number one, you can always come and pick up donuts. You can even browse the showcase. We are practicing social distancing. So, keep your distance from the person in front of you in line. And so we are open for that. All of my employees are also wearing masks and gloves. They're washing their hands, and we're sanitizing. If there's an employee that's sick, I do not let them come to work.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the pickup direction. For delivery, I mean, what's better than getting donuts delivered to your door? What we're doing, so again, we're on the delivery platforms, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and DoorDash. I feel that they have a very limited delivery range, but they're, everybody has a preference. With Postmates, I think it goes up to 11 miles. So if you're kind of farther from our location, then there's a way to order on our website. That's dksdonuts.com. You can place an order there. And if there's any problems with delivery, you can email us, info@dksdonuts.com. Sometimes it's me that's delivering it, because right now, like, sometimes we can't afford to have, a delivery driver. Like, I'm out there like on the front lines and documenting. I call it securing the box. Making sure that, there's plenty of people like that have a quarantine birthday. Today, actually, I had a delivery for a man named Jameson, and he works at the UCLA Medical Center, and his family in Texas actually called me, and they said, hey, like, is there any way for you to make this happen? Like, we're all the way in Texas, and this is his 50th birthday. Like, we really want something special.
Right.
So I went in there, and I can also share with you, Tiffany. I stacked the donuts, and we gave him this giant Texas-sized donut tier and a donut bouquet, and he was so surprised and so happy. It's like a lot of these people are spending their birthdays alone in quarantine, and we're still delivering donuts to fit the occasion. And so, yeah, that's kind of how you order. I think you can also reach me by my phone number, 323-675-6001. I am on all the time for whatever your donut needs are, or you can email me, which is preferred. But yeah, we just want to make it really accessible and easy for anybody who's craving donuts, because donuts ultimately make people really happy.
Yeah, they do. Well, thank you so much, Maylee, for joining me today. And we're really pulling for DK's Donuts to thrive and satisfy our community sweet tooth. That's your job right now, and we love that. So now to our viewers, if you have a local restaurant you'd like to feature, please comment on our Facebook page. And thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend. Stay
Thank
healthy.
you.
Thank you, Maylee. And we're out.
Bye.
Bye.